shows the young Ian Jones at fullback what a test of nerve awaits him. The balance of pace and deftness at three-quarter, and they'll be looking to be nursed by that Stevens-Moon half-back combination. Moon dynamic, Stevens the cooler controller. The veteran Delaney expected not just to anchor the scrum but also do much of the groundwork. Davis at lock instead of the injured May. Lynn Jones expected to work as the link man, and the team captained by the massive Phil Davis. A solid and brave Paddy at fullback, a three-quarter line that's absolutely rock solid in defence and also developing as an attacking force in their own right. Halfbacks Phillips and Jonathan's first priority though will be to nurse that pack. A pack hewn in the traditional Pontypool mould. Dibble, a forceful scrummager, Jenkins, a mobile side to his game, Goody Australia bound the middle line tower, and Hewish, Oswald and Davis monopolising the loose ball. Derek Bevan, yet another big occasion for the Clydach man, and he inquires of Phil Davis, who seems ready. The start then through Arwell Parry for Pontypool, and the first touch and the call for the fair mark, or the fair catch to Colin Stevens, and the comforting sight for his teammates as Stevens into something of a blustery breeze, just the early settler, and much will depend on this young man's control at outside half for Llanelli. The first confrontation then, the first line out, Jenkins the advantage. Phil Davis, the Llanelli captain, will attempt to deny Pontypool as Copsey towers, but Phil Davis was nudging at the front. Garyn Jenkins keen to get on with it, but Chris Hewish wanting things to settle, immediately calling his fullback Arwell Parry up to be involved, and the first kick at goal will come from Parry.
And what a moment for Parry, because no doubt he'll have thoughts of last year when he played for Bridgend in the cup final. Didn't have a very successful day that day, so he's hoping he can slam this between the posts, put that all behind him, and it'd be a dream start for Pontypool.
Not the easiest of days for place kickers, I would have thought.
No, there's a strong swirling wind that's going round the stadium, and it showed when Arwell Parry kicked off with Llanelli were back for the long one, but it barely went just over the 22 metres, but a big test for the full-back.
There'll be an edge to all those Pontypool players' feelings as they watch Parry. Chance for Arwell Parry to put Pontypool into a 3-point lead, and the first big disappointment for Pontypool, and certainly for Arwell Parry, is that kick that was kickable, well within his reach, just shaved outside the post.
And he'd be bitterly disappointed, that Parry, because the wind was coming in the right direction for him to curl it round.
Nothing unorthodox about Llanelli's first restart. Colin Stevens will want that to hang in the wind. That's just a touch too far though. It was Oswald. The time for his favourite set-up drive. There are bodies on the wrong side of the ball which, well, won't allow the ball to come, and Derek Bevan quick to ease the little tensions that might be lurking just underneath the surface. No wonder it's that man with three on his back that's last up, the man that would have prevented that second phase, Lawrence Delaney. And this tussle as well in the scrum will be interesting. Andrew Dibble, highly thought of, not just in Pontypool but generally in Welsh rugby as a scrummager, did so much damage against Swansea, and it'll be interesting to see how the veteran Delaney copes with that young vigour. And problems, and according to Derek Bevan at least, it was the far side of the scrum in the shape of Lyndon Musto that was doing something not to Derek Bevan's satisfaction, and Colin Stevens a second touch. So the first scrum really inconclusive as those little battles within battles go on for supremacy. Garyn Jenkins, the Pontypool hooker, still can't find his man. Copsey steals it. The chance for Nigel Davis and Simon Davis to combine. The straight route from Davis, the support from Nigel Davis, his partner. Lynn Jones so quickly there, but Pontypool will have No, they have Lynn Jones, remarkable work. There's a man over here. Davis again. Well, that's not the prettiest of sights, but still it's effective. Bowling, seeing no way through, decides that there might be something in midfield, but all it's offered is a chance for Pontypool in the shake of McGaughey, and that is excellent work by the Scotsman. Spotted the little space, sends Ian Evans back, but here so good at manufacturing little kicks, but this offers Paddy, and what good running from the fullback. That's in front of his forwards. They can now rampage. Jonathan waits, and there's offside from Phil Davis. Derek Bevan just waiting a second. The probe is on through Jenkins, and Bevan finally says there was no advantage there. But what good running from Arwell Paddy.
Yeah, but also we saw McGaughey using his left foot in the centre, and again he's a key man in that back division. He takes the pressure off David Phillips, and that was a marvellous kick by the Scottish centre.
Arwell Paddy, this time a chance of a kick from the hand, and that is excellently done. So quickly over his initial disappointment is the Pontypool fullback. The running is good, kicking from the hand is good. Five minutes played, no score as yet, but some excitement here as Fox gets a first chance, and he can't find his man. Pontypool, Jonathan, the little stutter there, that would have been good quick ball for Pontypool had he got that away.
But very interesting, Llanelli took the line-out throw inside the 22. Normally whether they'd have thrown it short to Phil May, they'd have thrown it in the middle for Copsey.
Well, three of a famous band in Musto, Jenkins and Dibble. Dibble's angle there made uncomfortable by Delaney, and it's something that Derek Bevan will have to keep an eye on. And the hard men, the clash of heads means nothing. Emmett Lewis having to guard this blind side, six on his back, opposed by the Pontypool captain, and the front rows collapse. Intentionally so, says the referee, and he points a finger at the old man Lawrence Delaney, and he surely won't believe that he was to blame there. So the early pressure coming from Pontypool, and for the second time within the opening 6 minutes, Arwell Paddy will have a chance to kick it goal.
And it's interesting that Paddy is not calling the lads on with the sand. So many kickers these days, they can hardly kick a ball without building the ball up with sand, but Paddy's obviously got back the old-fashioned way, and he's quite confident and happy kicking from the ground. 24 metres of a kick facing Arwell Paddy. All that different from his first effort. Will know that he'll have to aim it just a little wider of that right-hand post. The wind will do the rest for him. Arwell Paddy can put Pontypool 3 points in front, and already hanging his head. And that was rather unfortunate as well. The loudspeaker, the Tanner system was going on as he was taking that kick, and I'm sure that put him off a little. You know, that was two vital kicks that have gone down the drain.
Well, that really is a lack of understanding on someone's part, that blast should have come right at the very instant that Paddy was aiming a kick at goal. No blast as Stevens restarts, and it does get over the 22 and carried back by the wind, and no one really quite sure what to do with it. It's a little low, tricky one. But what it does is offer Gary and Jenkins a chance to mount
and Goody's gone back the line out of jump.
But Jenkins not being able to find his man, but Moon and Stevens no problems as halfbacks. That telepathy already in motion. So problems for the throw, not just the kickers, Phil Bennett, but for the throwers in at the line-out
yes,
as well.
This wind is swirling all over, and Gary Jenkins, Goody's gone to the back of the line-out. Will he try and find him, and then maybe they'll peel around the back?
It's aimed at Goody, nudged it forward before hacking it ahead, and the scrum will form. Or there was pulling as well, so the Giant frustrated. So Colin Stevens having plenty of early practice at finding touch at least.
Phil Davis quite happy to see the ball going out of play, slowing things down. They're playing into a very strong wind, and he's just happy that they're not 6 points down.
You expect this man to do this, his forwards, upfield, and that from Colin Stevens is superb. Tremendously done. And just problems at the back of the terrace at the moment, and supporters being asked not to push forward. As Moon again is delivered a good possession. This time Stevens tests Adwell Parry. Just difficult to plot the flight of that, and just a stutter from Parry, but a good, excellent recovery from the fullback, and yet again a fine relieving kick.
I think there we saw how deceiving the wind could be. It was floating away all the time, but I think Llanelli would have wanted that ball a little higher so that Parry would have been taking man and ball to see whether his shoulder is really match fit. David Fox, a chance to get the ball to Copsey, the captain Phil Davis there. That's perfectly laid back. Well, there were hands in there, and Bevan quick to spot it as the Kiwi Dean Oswald felt that perhaps there was no other option but to deny Llanelli second phase. And there's the favourite Llanelli ploy, tap back by Copsey, and where Phil May does the cleaning up is Phil Davis, and he's so powerful, he broke the line, goes down, lays perfect ball back, the tackler's there, clearly offside. Mr Bevan awards the penalty to Llanelli.
Colin Stevens using his little sandcastle. 22 metres, having suffered the early pressure. What a blow this would be in a positive sense for Llanelli and in a negative sense for Pontypool. 22 metres, Colin Stevens with this chance to gain Llanelli 3 points. Off the posts, and gratefully David Phillips is opposite number. Miners, so as Parry wants to restart, Stevens is back in position and will attack. There are men over here. Has he chosen the right route? He has Lawrence Delaney there, the prop. Good hands from the tight head. Nigel Davis needs to set up Julian Williams, the number 8, straight on. No real space there. The space was the other side, really. And Julian Williams in charging in. Just a little damage to the right shoulder. Will need some treatment as well. So Julian Williams in that Llanelli back row because Phil Davis is playing lock, receiving the treatment.
And it wasn't the best kick-off in the world from Adwell Parry because he put it straight down Colin Stevens' throat, and he had both sides of the field to attack. I think he could have gone left because there was space there, but good tackling by, I think it's Davis the flanker, so Llanelli haven't got a lot of space. And quite sensibly, when it comes to Julian Williams, not a lot of room. He's not going to give Ian Evans' man a ball into touch.
And Ricky Evans has tied it in. It's there for Moon if he can release it. As Lynn Jones on the short run, good running by the flanker, just that little interception spoiling Llanelli's momentum. It's still up for grabs though. Moon wants to exploit the blind side, so strong the scrum half. Emmet Lewis is inside him, but oh, just a foot in touch, so unlucky. But had he spotted Lewis, there would have been a try on. But dynamic, this Llanelli scrum half, Rupert Moon.
Outstanding run by the scrum half, and ultra critical. If he only could have got that pass in, because Emmet Lewis had worked well off the ball and was waiting for the flick on inside.
And I like Julian Williams before him, injured in the tackle.
So powerful, Rupert Moon gets the ball and he just shrugs off tacklers. There's one handoff, there's no room there, 2 handoffs. Look at number 6, Emmet Lewis, he's inside waiting for the flick, but fair play to Rupert Moon. He made good ground, he was tackled well. And I'm just wondering, will Emmet Lewis come to the front of the line-out, as we saw in a very similar position to the Neath match in the semi-final, to put pressure on Neil Jones, therefore forcing Garen Jenkins to throw perhaps to the middle of the line-out.
This man's fitness vital to Llanelli's cause, and thankfully for Llanelli, as Llanelli claim it at least. Emmet Lewis has possession and very close to the line. Yes! Llanelli get the game's first try, and it is Emmet Lewis. He may not have stood in the front of the line, but the result is the same. Emmett Lewis, a try.
And that's the pressure. Phil Davis jumping number 2. Look, and Emmett Lewis has come right down to the front and he's put Gary Jenkins under pressure. But it's the drive. He stayed on his feet, the rest of the pack, and he turned him over. Mr. Bevan blocked for a minute, but awards the try. Putting a little bit of pressure, has to lob it instead of the flat throw. Great take by Emmett Lewis. He's turned initially, but it's the drive. The rest of the pack get behind him. Let's have a good look at it. There's the line. And quite clearly, good try for the flanker.
And Pontypool, the first time they were under pressure, yielding a try, that surely will disappoint them. Colin Stevens can further Llanelli's cause with a successful conversion. And beautifully struck, just taken away at the last. That seemed to be going all the way there, but at the last moment the wind took it away.
I think if a lesson for Colin Stevens there, he must kick lower because that wind, it was going perfectly, but he gave the ball so much height, the wind just took it. Into the wind, you've got to strike the ball much lower.
Try scorer, Emmett Lewis. So, successive tries here at the National Stadium as Adwell Parry's kick doesn't reach the 10 metres. The referee plays the advantage law. Fox has possession but won't make headway. And Derek Bevan satisfied to allow a scrum to develop on the 10-metre line.
Well, I'm sure Llanelli would be a little disappointed there. The ball didn't go 10 metres, and I think they didn't gain any advantage. It should have been a scrum back down on the halfway line.
Jonathan on the Llanelli 10-metre line. The chance for Hansen to put in the towering up and under. Ian Jones has come a long way and done very well, but swamped by the white jerseys of Pontypool, and indeed in holding on yields a penalty. And Gary Jenkins wants to take it on. Does he? Yes, he does. He's allowed as well. But he is there, and not 10 metres. This is Pontypool then on the rampage. Jonathan, supported by Dibble, starts on a little run. The support is there. Vince Davis, support just slow in coming. He needed that a lot quicker, and there was that vital half second was allowed Llanelli to kill it. But already Pontypool deciding that wind conditions such that goal kicking won't be easy.
If they win good ball, will they use Lewis on the burst in the middle?
The scrum absolutely solid. Derek Bevan points to the Llanelli three-quarters to stay back as Jonathan starts on the run. The interplay in midfield, it's messed up those. Emmett Lewis has a chance, and the flanker relishes that sort of prospect. Perfectly laid back. There's a chance here, but Llanelli to counter-attack. Simon Davis, Ian Evans, very unlucky. The winger, the ball has gone forward as Derek Bevan allows play to go on. The chance for the counter-attack from Pontypool. They now have man over. Well, that's perfectly paced for Hudson. Has a clear run. Ian Evans will collar him. Still in play, and it's not a penalty. We're back to midfield though. All the excitement was in vain because Hansen was in front of the kicker, and Llanelli choose the scrum back from where the ball was kicked.
That was outstanding play by both sides and great refereeing by Mr. Bevan. Oh, they had so many overlaps here, Pontypool. I think they should have moved the ball, but he spotted that there was Llanelli were caught flat, and it was a glorious kick really. Hansen took it on the burst. He was in front of the ball. We didn't know that at the time. Great also covering by Ian Evans. He's going for the corner, just forced into touch. But what marvellous play by both sides.
Scrum halves, or the front rows rather, collapsing, frustrating things.
And just the other side of the scrum, Sean White is up very flat for Pontypool, and there is a gap behind him if Moon could find that gap.
And Moon really must have heard Phil Bennett, because where else does he put it but into that gap? And offers Steve Bowling a chase. Bowling's hands not quite able to gather though, and unfortunate that the ball was nudged forward.
But it's noticeable who was there first for Llanelli after Bowling. It was number 7, Lynn Jones. He's the dynamic player, getting there first to the breakdown for Llanelli.
And Delaney and Fox between them take that out of the scrum half's hand really. And again, the pressure on Adwell Parry. Adwell Parry this time, and could Llanelli perhaps have done more with that? It was such vital quick ball
We talk about the glamour boys. It was the forwards who won that against the head, and I think Colin Stevenson used that wisely. He gave Parry far too much time.
And Arwel Parry, in gratitude, drives it back from where it came. 19 minutes played. Llanelli a 4-point advantage. David Fox, Emira, Davis, Copsey and Williams. Was it straight? And Derek Bevan will offer the option to Pontypool of a scrum or a line-out. Straight, he says, and with a forceful scrum, Pontypool choose that option.
And you can bet your life you know where Jonathan is going to put this isn't into the box if it's good ball.
Has already had a look, and White already setting off on the early run. Was he in front? Phillips was there. Captain Half did very well. The ball nudged forward.
And that was shades of the old partnership years ago of David Bishop in the box and Mark Ring would then play for Pontypool time in his run.
So the Pontypool outside half, David Phillips. Just a little twist of the finger. Oh yes, it hurts.
The scrum half judges this to perfection. White could have been an inch or two in front of the ball, but David Phillips, like a good partner, coming up, keeps his eye on the ball all the time, tries to regather it, and looking for his back row to be there to help him. It went slightly forward and he's taken a knock on his hand.
Well, is there any doubting what side they support? Still 4 points adrift as we enter the second quarter of the game. And just that Llanelli, or those Llanelli points coming from Emyr Lewis, try from a line out, and despite all the excitement, there's been no other real threats to the goal line. Llanelli quite tie that in as they should. Julian Williams has to put body in the line, but the initial nudge has offered Pontypool a scrum in a very advantageous position.
And again, marvellous position here. They can either put the one into the box or they can stick it right under the post, where young Ian Jones really hasn't had a taste of the ball so far. Interesting option open to Pontypool.
Well, three quarters are lying very deep, which may suggest that they'll be used. But Jonathan has decided that Ian Jones should be tested. The fullback stands his ground. Was he standing still? No fair catch, but away comes Lynn Jones, or very nearly. The ankle tap denies him, and the ball still free. Playing advantage is Derek Bevan, and finally, although Lynn Jones will claim that he wasn't tackled, it was an ankle tap, but holding on to the ball means that a penalty is yielded, and this time Pontypool surely and do kick for goal.
Another beautiful kick by John in the scrum half. Just watch White. Ian Jones gets the ball and bang, White takes him man and ball. Great kick. Lynn Jones does very well. Again, he's back first man for Llanelli, looking to come out of counter-attack. He's ankle tap, not a tackle. He looks to pick it up and play the ball, but doesn't release it in time.
Arwel Parry failed. The two can now and fails. It really is a day that Arwel Parry. No wonder he looks to the skies, and just watch the captaincy of Chris Hewish. Still able to smile, still able to encourage.
But that's got to be a devastating blow to Parry and to Pula, who put so much pressure on, and really there should have been 3 points. He kicks those in training every day.
Stevens trying to nurse his forwards, but can only find Dean Oswald. It's a good pass, and Magorchi sees Pontypool going backwards, although that's remarkable recovery work by the Scotsman. He knew he'd put his side under pressure. It was here regathered, but here is Rupert Moon. He timed this. Nigel Davis, Simon Davis, the pass. It wasn't all that well timed to Ian Evans, but Lynn Jones was there and could keep it in play, and the other Jones, Neil, the giant Pontypool lock, got good covering from the lock forward to deny Llanelli any further progress.
I'll tell you, the outstanding man so far, Lynn Jones, he's been head and shoulders above everybody else, so quick. Llanelli won the ball, looking always to counter-attack, but I didn't think they timed their passes well. Yeah, that's a well-timed pass. Simon Davis should have given it, took a little bit too long, and Ian Evans took man a ball. But just watch, he stayed on his feet, and it was the first man to support him, number 7, Lynn Jones.
Not straight at the line out of his Llanelli the scrum. And again, this channel, 15-metre channel down the right-hand side, will seem very inviting for Rupert Moon and Julian Williams. Ian Evans also poised as Moon looks to exploit it. Delicate kick, but well covered by Adwell Parry. And again, just a little scuffle going on in midfield as David Fox and his opposite number, Gary Jenkins, just get tangled a little bit. Hookers have a little way about things that's different from others.
Yeah, two outstanding hookers, Gary Jenkins and Di Fox. Either one of them could have gone to Australia. There's about half a dozen good hookers in Wales. Julian Williams kept to the front of the line out.
And on the peel, the early appeal, but denied by Goody. Good work by Dean Oswald. Pontypool. Is it being killed? Somehow Llanelli take it again as Stevens, Adwell Parry, the chance, he needs a kind bounce. Parry can take on Ian Jones, the support at last as David Phillips plays football with it. Stevens dances before finally being swamped. The chance on here for Pontypool, if they can release it quickly. There are men over. Parry, well, was that the route? The ball still there though for Pontypool to drive on. It's on its way. Tremendous Llanelli tackling though, has finally released the captain, who is straight on. Can they support him though? It again on its way. On go the forwards. Tremendous pressure this from Pontypool. Neil Jones and Hughes yet again. They're all there, the Pontypool forwards, driving in. And well, the odd foot going in as well as Llanelli desperately try and wrestle that away. Emmett Lewis, Phil Davis, even fullback Ian Jones is in there. Really desperate stuff this.
And I'll tell you, that's no place for the faint-hearted. Some great forward drives by Pontypool, some outstanding defence by Llanelli. A lot of men in red putting their bodies the other side, killing the ball, and that's where you see the boots going in, but great play by both sides.
From this position, in years gone by, there would have been no doubts about Pontypool's tactics. This scrum would have been run back over the goal line. So let's see what of this vintage. They'll want an absolutely solid platform, and then the second surge.
Good refereeing by Mr. Bevan. He said, look, I'm in charge here, let's cut this collapse in, let's get on with the game. And he's warning the front rows, because as we've seen in the past, so many front rows collapse the scrums and they ruin the game.
The message has been relayed. Has it been understood? Jonathan has Oswald charging. Oswald, half a metre short, is still on its way. The chance on here, but what tackling! There were three lining up waiting for Hewish there. Again, the defence watertight, but in denying Pontypool further progress, the ball was being held on the ground. But the surge from Pontypool, quite fantastic.
I think they've got to go for the charge here and look for a big man like Oswald or Hewish coming on the burst. They'll find it very difficult to stop the big men.
Well, so early in the game, the final, strange to see this side, but on the charge, Oswald yet again denied. What a tackle, this time by Ricky Evans. It's not often you see loose head prop forwards putting in deadly tackles, but Evans there certainly saved a try. Remorselessly on go Pontypool. Possession maintained, the advantage, all the options open here. McGaughey's gone on the run, but again, and just a little mix-up. The chase now is on. Look at Ian Evans go. The man picks up yards on everyone, and with Simon Davis there as well. Parry, where on earth did Parry come from? Well, that was a 100-metre sprint, and Parry, who isn't always regarded as the quickest man, and in doing that injures himself.
This should have been a Pontypool try because they had men over there, nobody'd come across, but a fly act down the field, and the pace of Ian Evans is incredible. He's come from 10 metres back and he just leaves everybody, gains meters, hacks it ahead, and I thought it was odds on a try for Llanelli, but Parry came from nowhere, showed good alertness, just hacked the ball, but in process I think he's hurt his arm or shoulder. Could this be the shoulder that he'd hurt last Saturday? Oh, it was a great ball for Pontypool. The centre hadn't come across for McGaughey. There was an overlap, you see, there was 3 of them there, but it's hacked, and that's what wins cup matches, taking those chances. Look at Evans' pace, blistering pace, hacks it ahead, kept it in play with his left leg, and I thought 3 or 4 Llanelli players come on the scene, but there's Parry coming back from nowhere, saves the situation.
Well, he'll remember this cup final at Will Parry. He's had his disappointments in goal-kicking terms, but that really did nothing but save Pontypool from a desperate situation.
And you know Pontypool have been on the line, they've nearly scored. Could we see Llanelli breaking away and maybe dabbing the ball down for 4 points? That's how it happens.
Julian Williams is already poised, Moon is on a run, Moon is still there, but again it's Parry that intercepts, prevents further Llanelli progress, and if anyone is keeping Pontypool in the game at the moment, it's Arwel Parry. He's been killed though on the ground, and Llanelli, or Phil Davis rather, is he in 2 minds? It's the same arm that he injured when hacking away that try-saving kick.
Good ball, well picked up by Julian Williams. A nice pass, took the man out. Lovely play by Moon. He's looking inside, thought his back row would be there, but who's there? Parry. But what he did, he was swamped by red jerseys, didn't release the ball.
And it seems as if Llanelli will spurn a kick at goal as well. So kicking conditions awkward here, and Phil Davis, like his counterpart Chris Hewish, deciding that the try is a better prospect.
And I think they'll move it to the middle of the field, not try and punch close.
Rupert Moon, David Fox still going. Well, he's over the line but can't place the ball down. Possession now on its way, but Moon swamped. Away comes Jonathan, but there was some offside play, and we're back to a penalty 5 metres from that Pontypool try line.
The usual tactic, I got caught out. David Fox went for it. Will they change it this time? The pooler forwards expect them to come on the burst. Moon might spin it out wide and the big forward come on the crash in the middle of the field.
Well, Lynn Jones is doing a lot of directing in midfield.
Watch for Phil Davis out there.
So it's Lynn Jones, Phil Davis is there, the big man, so is Emyr Lewis. A hands. Is this a chance for a Pontypool counter-attack? Sean White just denied the yard he desperately needed to get away. And again, good refereeing for Bevan as he keeps Llanelli's 3/4 at bay. And Pontypool do so well to rescue that. The forwards there to support Sean White, and then Kerry Jonathan, the relieving kick.
That was a disappointing short penalty by Llanelli, because the big men like Emyr Lewis and Phil Davis never really came on to the ball at pace. They were going to cross the field taking the ball.
Down to the last 8 minutes of the first half. Still only 4 points separating the two teams, as Vince Davis tries to make some headway, setting up Jonathan and Phillips. The chance for McGaughey. It's not his style. He's not normally the head down, straight on man. And perhaps just a reflection of some desperation at the moment in the Pontypool cap. And Lynn Jones will deny them. But again, the ball has gone forward. The man seems to have a magnet to the ball.
Noticeable Arwel Parry's going to cross that side. He's very hard to pick up because the full-back can't come and take him, so there's a men spare on that side for Pontypool.
Oswald and Jonathan need to set things going. And little Nurse is forward, and they'll thank him for that. It's been a long haul to get back from that try line, having suffered such frustration. A try seemed certain, it was hacked away, and now it's the long trek back upfield yet again. forceful character is David Fox. He keeps out the young Lamerton from that Llanelli hooker position. Llanelli doing well at the line-out, but not tying it in as Kerry Jonathan. What good perception, good vision from Jonathan, seeing the support on the inside, manufactured pass as well. And a shame for Pontypool that that pass wasn't snapped up.
Great play by the scrum half, good towards the touchline, not a lot of space, but good vision, floats the pass inside, that's a beauty. Good tackle by Emir Lewis, and there's where the ball went out of Gavin Jenkins' hands, but good vision by Jonathan.
As Clive Knowling and Derek Bevan have a quick word. Well, it's nothing serious. As the front rows engage. Dibble trying to drive on as Jonathan gets away, but Chris Hewish of all people with a try line beckoning in front of him can't snatch that pass, can't hold on to that pass. And what a chance that was for Pontypool.
Loose control by Llanelli, the ball coming out, but it comes out not from channel 1, and Hewish golden opportunity and out of his hands. Pooler can't keep wasting these chances.
Goody can't win the line out either, which doesn't help. And in claiming that ball, there was a hand in there, illegally so. Probably one of the coolest men on the field, Colin Stevens, won't be hurried. And yet again, excellently done.
Strange. He seems to be kicking well that side of the field. I don't think the wind's so strong. He's probably favouring the Stevens when he's kicking on that north side.
Goody this time does tower and make headway and lay it back, but again it's not tight enough. Llanelli, the offside. Jenkins will want it taken on. The hooker has Dibble there in support, that is better as Jonathan then, but not protected well enough. Llanelli so alert to that, and Lawrence Delaney on the fringes, ever eager to get involved. Still Pontypool drive it on, there's a punch in there, there's a punch in from Chris Hewish, I'm sure that Les Peart has spotted on this side of the field. The referee's attention, and now Knowling helps out the referee as well in pointing that Les Peart has seen it. And the long trek for Derek Bevan across to have a word with Les Peart. And
isn't it great that we in Wales have got probably the 3 best officials in Great Britain, maybe in the world, and Mr Bevan needs all the help he can. Peart saw it, and let's see what he awards.
And a reflection of the travelling of these world-famous referees as well is that Les Peart last Saturday was refereeing the United States and Japan, a match in which he sent an American off the field for stamping. So one day it's America, the next is Cardiff.
I think there was a punch thrown and Mr Peart couldn't see who it was. Let's have a look. Very. Oh yes, it's Chris Hewish put in a haymaker there.
So the captain, not always setting the best example, and Llanelli's outside half Stevens not quite finding touch either, but still the pressure enough to keep Llanelli down just outside that Pontypool 22.
The one problem Llanelli have in the line-out this afternoon, because Phil Davies is not expert at the front of the line-out, they continually throw into Copsey, and he's taking a fair bit of stick in the middle of the line-out.
The captain shouting the orders. And Copsey so dependent. Watch number 6 behind 5 for Llanelli. Emir Lewis does so much protecting of the big man, and Davies and Moon then combine. Simon Davies, well, should have come on the slant, and with referee Derek Bevan again waiting for the advantage slow to be played. Llanelli for the second time squander a chance.
You have to be disappointed at some of the handling this afternoon. There was perfect ball, again the forwards laying it on, but the pass was put slightly behind Simon Davies.
So it's the skills, at least outside, not of the highest quality as yet. Still a keenness to the game though, an edge, competitive edge that sustains the interest. Jonathan will bring McGaughy into play. The centre decides that there's a chance to attack, but again, Lynn Jones, very nearly needless to say who tackled. Still the chance to counter-attack if Stevens can count numbers. Simon Davis, what a good tackle, excellent tackle. Good groundwork by Chris Hewish, the Pontypool captain. Not just gaining possession, but driving on, setting up the position. And referee Bevan playing the advantage law yet again. It's an awkward one, but straight at bowling. But what, we come back to square one. It was a mere matter of Derek Bevan waiting to see whether Pontypool will gain anything from that. They didn't, so we're back to a penalty. Little more than time to get this away into touch. The final 30 seconds of the first half.
And I think what Pontypool need is some points here, whether it's a drop goal or anything. They need to get on the scoreboard. They've had a lot of pressure in the first half, but no points to show for it.
Richard Goody, who has found this game a little harder than the one against Swansea in the semi-final, hasn't quite dominated the line-out. As Copsey again gets hands to that, but Lee Jones gains possession. The chance for Phillips to set up his three-quarters. Lovely running from Phillips. The chance for McGaughy to set up Hansen. Half a metre short. Desperate times for Llanelli yet again. They're over. Pontypool have scored. And at the bottom of that, we'll have to wait and see.
And this is an excellent try again. Llanelli to throw to the middle of the line out, not the front. And it's a beautiful loop with all men running off the ball. They thought it was going to the centre. Phillips took it. Good passing. Hansen's come in from the left wing. I thought he should have drawn bowling and given, but it was good cover there. So he did very well. The forwards are there. They're piling over. Can't quite see who got there. Mr. Bevan's in a perfect position. I think it could be Vince Davis. He was the try.
The try scorer, Vince Davis, having flown from the back of that liner to be first to support, and the ultimate reward, of course, the try. Having had such a horrendous time of it, place-kicking wise in the first half, with this last kick probably of the first half, can Adwell Parry put Pontypool in front? It would be so typical of him. This could give Pontypool a 2-point half-time advantage. Yes, it does. And Derek Bevan signals as well. And what a turnaround. The dying seconds of the first half. Pontypool were 4 points adrift. But yet, when the whistle goes, the scoreboard reads Llanelli 4, Pontypool 6. Well, a breathless ending to that first half. Parry having missed 3 penalties, relatively straightforward penalties. How typical of him to convert that. Let's have a look at that try again then.
I thought it was a beautifully constructed try. I thought it was out to McGaughy, but the loop, great running by Phillips and a lovely time pass. There's Hansen with a strap in. Remember, he's a left wing out to the right hand side. Good cover by Colin Stevens. Now we have to be very careful. Rupert Moore was claiming that he was stopping the man from scoring. Let's look, Mr. Bevan in the ideal position. Vince Davis forces his way over. Mr. Bevan says, yes, that's a try.
Well, you can see the strength of the wind here. A blustery wind. No great advantage to either side. But obviously there with that last kick, Adwell Parry found some favour from it. And what a comeback by the fullback, Phil Bennett.
Yes, 3 disasters early on, let's be fair. The one he missed in front of the post would have finished most players, but that kick was vital. And as you said, it was odds on he would get it, because I believe the wind on that side isn't quite so bad. But I just said a minute before half-time, wasn't it a psychological blow for Pooler to get some points on the board? Excellent try and a conversion. They deserved those points.
Emyr Lewis scored Llanelli's try.
And you see Emyr Lewis had come down from the back to put pressure on Neil Jones in the front. He took it well, turned, but he's so strong, nicknamed the Taro, stayed on his feet, waited for his pack to drive him over, twists round, gets his hand there. Again, Mr. Bevan in a good position.
Tremendous awareness by Emyr Lewis to realise where the line was and to be able to turn and place the ball.
Bit of a worry for Llanelli. Julia Williams is rubbing his collarbone on his shoulder, I would just wonder, he had a knock earlier on. If he would have come off, it would mean something like Gary Jones to come on. But I think the side that gets the points on the board early on could be vital. It'll be interesting to see this kick off from Colin Stevens, to see what he makes of this wind. I think it's very deceptive, and I think it's swirling around all over the place.
With 2 points separating the two sides, everything to play for in the final 40 minutes. Packed house, there couldn't be a grander stage. And Llanelli, through Colin Stevens, the restart. And that isn't the best of restarts either. And presents Kerry Jonathan with the second half's first touch. The touch that sets up the first line out. It's the scrum half. Had a busy little game, but Fox this chance to set up Copsey, and again one not quite tied in by Ricky Evans, but Lynn Jones, the quick hands again, and Simon Davis won't thank namesake Nigel for setting him up with that very nearly hospital pass. The two Davises not in concert there. Jonathan desperately burrowing for that. Bevan keeping the Llanelli three-quarters at bay. Will it come? At last it does, and Jonathan, realising that Bowling was up flat, tries to angle that between Bowling and Ian Jones. Ian Jones, the good support work, and an even better kick. That is beautifully done by the young fullback.
Good thinking by the winger and Ian Jones, but what an awful pass in midfield earlier on by Nigel Davis. All the time in the world, and he just set up Simon Davis for man and ball.
The chance for Pontypool then. Lots of squeezing at that line out, and Neil Jones is Jonathan, swamped by Julian Williams. Pontypool, even on the retreat though, as Hewish has a look, wants to prompt things. Phillips will dance, but that's down well. That's some recovery. Really was guarded on all sides, but Jonathan and Parry again can ease some pressure here. Delicately done by Parry. Ian Jones, will he look wider? No. And just a little unlucky. No other option really. He was on the retreat, no great support, and just had to put the ball into touch.
Just go back earlier on, Neil David Phillips went on a dance, but such is the routine, the technique in Pontypool. When he was tackled, his ruck ball was perfect, almost like a flanker winning it back for him.
That's Anthony Copsey, the Llanelli middle line jumper, dominated that area as Colin Stevens. Could that offer Ian Evans a chance? It offers Nigel Davis a chance at least to drive on. 7 was there first. Lynn Jones yet again as Pontypool killed that, or he was hands at least to prevent Llanelli claiming it.
And that's the sort of quick ball Llanelli wanted there from that ruck where Lynn Jones was first involved. And I'm amazed at this for Colin Stevens. He's got the wind behind him, and it is blowing in from that north stand, but this would be a gigantic kick by the young fly half.
So 55 metres is the distance facing Colin Stevens.
Again, Copsey and co winning good line-out ball, and it's well used. Out to Colin Stevens, it's not a good kick, he sliced it. His forwards wouldn't thank him for that, really. They'd worked hard to get it, could have gone anywhere. Nigel Davis did well to follow up. Good play by the centre. Look, number 7, Lynn Jones is there again, but 4 Pontypool jerseys there, only the one Llanelli man, but killing the ball and penalty Llanelli.
From 55 metres, Llanelli out and half Colin Stevens. First penalty kick of the second half, and a chance to put Llanelli in front. That won't be far away. That was very, very close. Just inches under the crossbar.
I'll tell you, there was an outstanding kick by Colin Stevens, and it just goes to show how strong that wind is coming from the north stand, because he just thumped that, and that was 55 metres, a great effort.
As Parry will hang, and Oswald did very well to reclaim it, and indeed Parry that was there to take it on again and lay it back, offer his forwards the chance, but again it's offside by Llanelli. Will Gary Jenkins take it quickly? And Garwell Parry requiring just a little attention again, this time a bang on the head. this time. McGaughey, the favoured left foot. And his forwards certainly will be grateful of that side. The trek upfield.
Strokes the ball with lovely timing to Sean McGaughey, the centre.
Copsey yet again. He really has matured as a line-out forward during the season. Has learned so much, he says, from Phil May and Phil Davis, as Moon and Stevens then combine in the perfect form. Pontypool do claim it this time, but it's all on the retreat, and the driver Llanelli so forceful that even Chris Hughes is pushed out. That doesn't happen all that often. Guarding the fringes is the Pontypool captain though, as Moon wants to set off and does find some space. Is there the support there? Yes, it is, in the shape of Julian Williams, the fullback. The wing Evans will get in. Yes, Evans. Oh, yes, it's a try. Some Pontypool players were pointing to the touchline, but Evans, the express train on the Llanelli right wing, sensing that Williams had set him up there to round things off.
Give this try to Rupert Moon. It was such slow ball that he didn't pass it out. He went on his own, and he's a dynamic runner. One of the best runners from scrum half position in the British Isles. Look for support. Did he play it off the floor? Was he tackled? But good play by Julian Williams. Saw Ian Evans coming there. The players claimed he was over the touchline, but let's look carefully. I don't think he went over the line, just stayed inside and wisely tried to get it around as far as the post as he can. An excellent try for Evans, made by Moon, the scrum half.
Llanelli having gained a 2-point lead. Can Stevens now double it to 4? Chips away at that. Doesn't quite get his aim right.
The slow ball, Llanelli have dug in well. If Moon had passed it out, his back should have been under pressure because the puller back should have quick. Into a dummy, he's so powerful, breaks the gap. Now he's waiting, where's the support? He's looking for players to come. Wasn't tackled, just held, flicks it up. Julian Williams comes. I thought he might have just gone on the charge, but he's a good footballer for a big man. Saw that the speed merchant Evans was on the outside, hugs the touchline, stays in field, and that was an excellent try. But Rupert Moon's looking very dangerous every time he gets the ball.
And from the restart, the ball went straight out of play. Llanelli the advantage then on the halfway line.
And that's where you have to do your basics well. Now Stevens kicks with any precision. This should end up way down inside the Pontypool 22.
There's a huge amount of space that right side of the scrum, and with the pace of Williams and Moon there, and they'll exploit that. Williams again sets up Moon. Coming up is Evans on the outside, but Stevens will get in there. The Llanelli players are jumping for joy. That really was expertly done. It was right from the moment the scrum formed, set up for a try. The space was there, but there was nothing in it for Stevens. So cool at the end of that. The try scorer.
Great try. Watch Julian Williams' time into the pass. Beautiful, dummied, and that's the timing which did it all. Rupert Moon draws his man, another perfectly timed pass, and Stevens, he's an express machine as well. His little legs pumping, he can't believe it, nobody in front of him, and that's a marvellous try. You can't compensate for pace. I thought they'd just stick the ball down in the corner, but Julian Williams filling in for the skipper number 8, a dummy, and Rupert Moon outstanding this afternoon. Look how he draws the man. Stevens has got Evans, but Evans doesn't bother. Nobody's going to catch the flyer from the 22. Stevens very quick, legs pumping. Scarlett's taking control.
And for the first time in the game, the Scarlet roar to be heard above that Pontypool chant. Stevens, the try scorer, the chance to add a further 2 points, whilst Adwell Parry receives some treatment. Philip Stevens, the conversion, and yes, a further 2 points to his try, and Stevens gaining control of the game. So it's the Red Army that's chanting, jumping and clapping.
What's also worrying for Pontypool is that Arwell Parry, who's played splendidly apart from his goal kicking, has taken a few knocks and again had to receive attention there. This kick-off is vital for them. They must get back into the game.
The problem for Parry here, you can't risk it going straight out of play again and reforming a scrum. Parry, the restart, and that doesn't make the 10 metres, and we're back to square one. And Rupert Moon and Julian Williams must be licking their lips.
And look at the Llanelli forwards sprinting back to the scrum, and the pool of forwards are saying, for goodness sake, let's get it 10 metres, let's get back into the game. They can't get back into the game.
Dean Oswald has been to have a word with Arwell Parry, encouraging word again, and Moon this time, the orthodox running off the ball. Stevens, good tackling by Pontypool. This time they knew what was on, defended well, and Llanelli, in reclaiming it, he was hands on the ground.
Good flair again shown by Llanelli, but I tell you what, if I was Phil Davis, I'd want that stuck down in the 22.
Gary and Jenkins, as Llanelli don't retreat to the required 10 metres. Still on goes play. This is good Pontypool driving. At last they're getting things together. It's on its way, not quite tight enough though, as Jonathan, but notice Julian Williams is cutting off all the avenues for Kerry Jonathan, standing out wide, still on it goes though. Again led by the hooker, Jenkins so strong. Pontypool, again it's not quite tight enough though, and when the ball should have been sped away, it's just taking that extra moment for Oswald to take delivery. Still good pressure by Pontypool here as the blind side switch comes on. But the tackling is so secure, so definite. Again, Hewish really drives through tackles, the man, the Pontypool captain. But Lawrence Delaney somehow has got hold of that. He'll stand his ground, he'll set it up as well.
And that's where Delaney earns his corn. They all want props these days to sprint 100 metres in 9.9, but Delaney can't do that, but he can scrummage and he gets in a win, vital maul ball.
Delaney, Fox and Ricky Evans, the threesome in that Llanelli front row. And this time, the penalty goes against Lyndon Musto. The Pontypool tight head for twisting and lowering. 12 minutes